Welcome to Catavlog 27, March 2026. This is Women's History Month. I haven't done that much on it. I've noticed a few plaques um, that I thought about writing about on social media, but I've been busy with a few other things. And since it followed on immediately after LGBTQIA plus History Month, I think I'll leave it till some other time. And there's other people doing great work on women's history, so probably don't want to replicate what other people are doing. Um, but I don't see it here so much from them. But anyway, there's the Clerkenwell project that I've been involved in, and at the moment there's a slight hiatus. We finished with winter warmers on the 7th of March, and that was International Women's Day. Oh, it was the day before actually, but we celebrated it that day with a group of about a dozen women who either brought and shared famous poems from women, famous poets, or shared their own poems. That's what I did. I shared my own. I was thinking of putting some of those on YouTube. I mean, I'm still involved in craft poetry. I love the workshops I go to for that, and I've got a few more coming up. So maybe towards the middle of the year, I'll share some of my poems, although that will perhaps be via shorts. I'm having to think about what to do with that. So, still involved in the local, well, the Islington community anyway, the local LGBTQIA plus support group for North London. That's brilliant. I love going to that. There's a huge march coming up on Saturday, Hope, a march for hope and a march against hate. But unfortunately, I cannot make that because of prior arranged engagements. But a lot of my friends going, I'm really going to miss not being able to see them. We had some nice weather during the last month, but then it went cold again. It's overcast and cold right now. We've just had spring equinox, so I'm feeling more optimistic because the days are now longer than the nights, daylight hours, more than 12 hours every day. That's a definite plus in my book. Love spring equinox. I love the summer half of the year, so the next 6 months, and I hope it goes well for you. And I've been working on many hyperlapse shorts. For a start, since my last catavlog, I've walked from I caught an Elizabeth line train out to Acton Way. I can't remember the main station, but Acton Main Line, I think it probably is. And then caught a bus south to South Ealing, and then made a hyperlapse walking eastwards, and it went dark, and so I continued it another day. Well, actually, I continued it in the dark for many days, and I walked eastwards right through Hammersmith, central London, um, the city, and out through Whitechapel, and so far I've got to Stratford, and I'm pausing there. I mean, actually, some of the videos, they're getting a few dislikes as well as likes, and I don't know. I mean, I don't mind. I think any engagement's good. That's what Miles Dyer says, and I agree with him. But in a way, I'd prefer some feedback, and I've been choosing the soundtrack, 1-minute sound bites from a lot of different genres, but the latest few have been high energy, rave music, techno, Eurodance. I love that. There's a lot of it's from the 90s. The latest one was Crush House Arrest from 1987. Remember that really well. And yet some people probably don't like that kind of music. Well, fair enough. However, my latest project, the project from the last week, was walking around the London Marathon route. The whole London Marathon route, I started at Blackheath, close to the roundabout, where it starts. Now, there's several start points depending on which category you're in. And I only picked one. I thought, "Oh, I'm not doing this several times over. Not this time. Have been slightly under the weather. I had a fairly bad cold the week before that. So last week I thought, well, I'll see if I can manage it. And I did. I walked the whole lot. So Blackheath over through Charlton, Ha Ha Road into Woolwich Common, down to Woolwich, round the bypass around the town centre. I did recently also go to the Thames Path there with a friend, and we started walking. We walked towards the Thames Barrier. This was almost a month ago now. Chose another lovely sunny day, and we walked up to North Greenwich and the O2. And I'm going to continue that walk at some point. However, since I've decided on this London Marathon route, I thought focused all my energy and I wanted to do it in the daytime and do it in several segments. I did it in about 6 kilometers on average each time because it's 42 kilometers. And what I did was, after Woolwich, I walked, there's a lot of main roads, busy areas that with a lot of traffic. So, um, not so keen on that. Also, got asked questions by, well, there were like these 3 young men walking on the road, and they asked me, "Oh, is that GoPro?" And the thing is, I was so embedded in walking, I thought I don't want to interrupt. I mean, it was hard enough to get around them because there were 3 of them across the pavement, and I had to sort of cross into the road to get around them before the traffic. So I was keen to just carry on. So I didn't stop. I just heard them in the background, just sort of saying, "Excuse me, miss, what is that GoPro?" And I went, "Oh, should I stop and talk?" And I thought, no, so I didn't. But I've got a DJI Osmo, so if you ever come across this, you may see yourself, you may not, I don't know. That's what I use, and so 360 DJI, but I'm not using my invisible selfie stick at the moment, um, because, it's more conspicuous, and sometimes I feel a bit self-conscious, especially when I get asked questions. So anyway, so I've got it strapped to me, and it seems to work. So I'm only doing it facing forwards, and I'm only doing it the video I'm doing hyperlapse, so 10 times the normal speed, and it's only showing forward facing. And it probably can't. I mean, it's going so fast. I can't really. I tried blurring out faces using the YouTube feature. it wouldn't let me, but I think everything's going so fast that it doesn't you can't really see people's distinguish people, so I think that's okay. But I'd appreciate any feedback. I'd really appreciate feedback about, um, soundtrack ideas to make this improve this. What would you like to see? And especially for the London Marathon. So anyway, I the next thing after Woolwich, carry on back through Charlton, London SE7. I notice a postcode on the street sign, so I get the sense of progress. Cross the Greenwich Peninsula under the A102, the bit that used to be a motorway that's been de-motorway-eyed, not de-trunked. It's been made a trunk road. Continue through Greenwich, past the Cutty Sark, then it sort of has a sharp turn back. It continues westwards along through Deptford after the Greenwich town area. Deptford, Surrey Quays, yeah, that's really interesting. I got slightly lost there because I went up towards Peninsula, so you go up Redriff Road to and have to turn off up Surrey Quays Road, and it goes past a retail park that seems to have been demolished. So this confused me. So when I went into Ontario Way, I got slightly confused, and I thought, "Is this the way I'm supposed to go?" And I ended up in Russia Dock Woodlands, I think. So I had to slightly backtrack, and I thought, I haven't got the time to redo this. So that might be a slight error. I think I didn't follow through the residential street that I was meant to walk along. I've had a look now on Google Street View, and I think, I missed that somehow. Still, it's a slight variation, and apologies for that. And I will redo it. I certainly think I will try and redo the stretches where I made an error. I think I made another error a bit later, which I'll talk about in a minute, but I continued along Salters Way, around the downtown peninsula, onto Rotherhithe, past the churches, the Finnish church, the Norwegian church, but on the road that comes into the roundabout by the Rotherhithe tunnel. And from there, gosh, it was rush hour again, lots of traffic along Jamaica Road. Oh, went on Evelyn Street. That was the name of the road that leads to Surrey Quays, Lower Road that way. But then across Tower Bridge, walked along the highway, again, so much heavy traffic. Narrow Street, which is breath of fresh air after the highway. Around the Isle of Dogs. Oh gosh, I've run the marathon twice in the 90s and the noughties, and I know why people start flagging at this point. Because even though I split it up and I didn't do it all in one go, I remember when I did do it all in one go, my knees wouldn't be able to take running it now, unfortunately. Hence, I love doing this at walking pace over a week. It was just a reminder of all the things. The routes changed a bit because we went north first and then curved round anti-clockwise and went underneath the route at Tower Bridge. This time, you go up to around Isle of Dogs to near Island Gardens, then up past Mudchute, up to there's through Cross Harbour, Marsh Wall, South Quay, Canary Wharf, gosh, then through Wood Wharf, which is that new extension of Canary Wharf, which is amazing. And I've got some hyperlapse of and some other video clips I took of the winter lights, which I still need to share, so I need to do that as well. And then up to Poplar High Street, I think I made an error there where I slightly went too far south to get into West India Quay Road. Went up again. It's really heavy traffic around where West Ferry, Limehouse. That was so busy around there. East India Dock, West India Dock Road. I don't know. Can't remember the name of that road, but into by Limehouse Station. Um, going back down to meet. I know the name of that road. I don't say it because it involves um, animal products. It's one of those weird things I just don't like saying things. But the name of that road, which ends in row, but the Rotherhithe Tunnel was closed, so there was extra traffic backed up. Went into the highway again, walked westwards along the highway, and then Smithfield, East Smithfield to Tower Hill area onto Upper Thamesmead, Thames Street, Upper Thames Street into Lower Thames Street. No, Lower Thames Street, then Upper Thames Street. Of course, walking upstream westwards, then through the cycle tunnel. There's a cycle path which has its own tunnel, and I couldn't figure out what to do as a pedestrian. Certainly couldn't walk through the main. It's the I was trying to follow the whole of this London Marathon route along the closest I could to where the runners run, but you can't at certain points because pedestrians are prohibited. So I followed the cycleway. I kept on the very narrow pavement on that, up under Blackfriars underpass, onto the embankment, round the sweep through Temple and under Waterloo Bridge to Westminster, under the Jubilee bridges as well, footbridges, and the Hungerford Railway Bridge. And at Westminster, you turn right up to. I hope we don't turn right at Westminster normally, but we do. I mean, we do at this. Do want to turn left at Westminster? Don't know why. Up to Parliament Square, Great George Street, Birdcage Walk alongside St James's Park, and this is like the home stretch. It's so exciting. Turn up by what was a roundabout by Buckingham Palace. Now it's a sort of bizarre one-way system, which isn't very pedestrian friendly, but into the Mall, and the Mall, because I finished on Sunday, was close to traffic. This was a bit strange. It wasn't close to traffic. There were some cars, but it was weekend. But it seemed to have some cars sometimes, but not mainly. It was mainly full of pedestrians walking down the middle of the road. Very strange. But that is where the London Marathon finish line is. And all the best to everyone who does the London Marathon this year. And please do watch these segments. I'm hoping to upload them, give them all individual soundtracks. And you can choose them, or at least make suggestions, and I'll choose them. But hope there's some variety. Running theme songs if possible. That would be brilliant. And then I'll I'll put them all in 1-minute segments up, and then I hope to make some London Marathon themed videos as well at some point this year as well. But whether I manage to do that, I plan to do this 1-minute segment certainly in time for the London Marathon. maybe I'll manage to string them all together, and make one simple video as well. Let me know your thoughts about all this, but, um, that's it for this month. Have a lovely Easter if you celebrate. Have a lovely, everything you celebrate this time of year. Hope spring and summer are lovely times of year for you. And I know the world is such a messed up place at the moment. So I hope it's as good as it possibly can be. Take care of yourself. Look forward to seeing you again soon. Please hit the like. Thanks if you subscribe. Hope to see you again in April. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.